Caitlin Clark, please leave this league and let it crumble. Please, this league does.
Leave the league and let it crumble. That's the thunderous message dominating social media right now. Fans are outraged as they watch the WNBA's brightest star get brutalized night after night. This isn't about one or two hard fouls anymore. It's an ongoing pattern of vicious off-ball hits, cheap shots, and a staggering level of neglect from officials who appear more focused on disciplining the victim than the aggressors. The league was gifted a generational superstar, a game-changer who shattered every viewership and attendance record. Yet, instead of protecting this once-in-a-lifetime talent, the WNBA has let her become the bullseye in a battlefield they created, fueling a firestorm of fury that now threatens to reduce the league to ashes.
The game, I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do.
The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star, she's a commercial supernova. Games featuring the Indiana Fever are averaging over 1.1 million viewers, nearly 3 times the ratings of other WNBA matchups. When she steps on the court, attendance doesn't just rise, it skyrockets. In Atlanta, the crowd surged from 3,300 to over 17,500. In Washington, it ballooned from under 5,000 to more than 20,000. She's driving more revenue, more attention, and more cultural relevance for women's basketball than anyone in the sport's history.
The NBA every day because of the way they play the game, because I love the WNBA, I love the way they play the game. But we really watch it because Caitlin Clark and everybody watching. Now listen, if I keep bumping her, knocking her down, might get her a concussion, you might hurt her for real. For 2 weeks, she was done with like a hamstring. She was down. 55% of the viewership was down. She comes back the next game, it's about 3 million viewers. Now let me tell you something. Growing up in the hood, they teach you this. Always protect the money. Y'all keep hurting her and all that. She going for a year or two. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. If nobody watches, how y'all gonna make and generate money? Stop playing with that girl home. Look, y'all need to start doing is put them emails together with the commissioner, to the referees. Don't put y'all damn hands.
She is, without question, the league's golden goose. But on the court, she's being treated like a tackling dummy. The abuse she endures is both obvious and relentless. This isn't just aggressive defense. It's a calculated pattern of off-ball hip checks, violent screens, and shoves after the whistle that have nothing to do with the game and everything to do with intimidation. What we're witnessing isn't competition. It's a campaign of harassment happening right in front of everyone's eyes.
You just go play basketball somewhere else. Your fans will follow you. We will follow you wherever you go. But let this shit crumble and burn to the fucking ground, man. Let the viewership drop below 50%. Let them lose hundreds of millions of dollars again, man. Let them go back into fucking irrelevancy. Nobody giving a damn about none of these players.
While Clark endures this nightly assault, the WNBA's response has been nothing short of deafening silence. The league's leadership, the very people responsible for safeguarding their most valuable asset, seem frozen in place. No bold statements, no updated directives for officials, no real action to stop the growing wave of violence. This lack of accountability has created a system built on betrayal, where the aggressors grow bolder and the victim is left to defend herself. Officiating has become a joke, but the punchline isn't funny, it's a complete disgrace.
I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
In multiple games, Clark has ended up being the one hit with a technical foul, simply for reacting to obvious non-basketball plays. The message from the referees couldn't be clearer. You can target her, but she's not allowed to show any frustration. It's a broken system, one that punishes the victim while rewarding the aggressor. And now, fans are left asking the uncomfortable question: is the league just incompetent, or are they complicit in all of this?
Oh, y'all literally been beating this girl up, pushing her on the floor, pulling her hair, poking her in the eye. You hear me? That's dangerous, bro. Because y'all mad because she pulling up threes in your face and then talking her smack like she should. Everybody else do it, so what's different? Y'all be picking and choosing who y'all want to pick y'all battles with, bro. That's just people.
The breaking point came during a heated matchup against the Connecticut Sun. The game was already intense, but the aggression toward Clark had reached a disturbing new high. In one sequence, she was jabbed in the eye, and just moments later, still reacting in pain, another player shoved her to the floor. The whistle blew, but instead of addressing the clear foul, the officials delivered a stunning blow of their own. A technical foul called on Caitlin Clark.
Marina Mabry's still staying in the game. What do you have to do to get ejected? Yeah, that's all of our question, buddy. None of us know. None of us know what you have to do to get ejected in the WNBA. You can pull hair. You can pull hair. You can drag. Stop. You don't even have to pull hair. You can drag someone to the ground by their hair and not get ejected. You can you can body check someone to the ground with no ball in sight. You can poke someone in the eye. None of these things will get you ejected. So at least we know these are the 3 things that you can do. Has anyone thrown a punch yet and not gotten ejected? I think that's just the last straw. Like, maybe that will get you ejected. Anything else? Fair game.
The arena, the viewers at home, and even her own bench sat in disbelief. This wasn't just another tough game. It was undeniable proof of a consistent pattern of targeted abuse, now openly enabled by the officials. The tension had been simmering for weeks, but this was the moment that lit the fuse. It was the breaking point, the instant the injustice became so blatant, so outrageous that someone had to step up and take action.
Sophie, who's my one of my favorites now. She's become one of my favorite WNBA players. I'm gonna watch her too, like I watch Caitlin. Look at what she did. And this and people may not say that this was in response or whatever the case may be, but I feel like Sophie is like, you want to play? We can play. I want to play the clip of her with the girl. And you hear Sophie.
Stolson at it, knocked away. Good hands by Allen. And Sheldon comes up with a steal.
Watch it. Oh!
Going coast to coast.
What's up there?
And here's we got another break us here as J.C. Sheldon goes right
the
after
blonde hair and the high heels fool you.
It was a hard foul, no
She
good.
got her in the headlock.
With less than a minute remaining in the game, Sophie Cunningham made a bold decision. The bullying ends now. As Connecticut's Alyssa Thomas sprinted down the court, Cunningham didn't just commit a routine foul, she sent a message. She grabbed Thomas by the hair and pulled her down in a move that was as dramatic as it was shocking. It wasn't subtle. It was raw, emotional, and deliberate, a clear declaration to the entire league. If the officials won't protect her teammate, then she will.
Are we even surprised about this? Sophie Cunningham's jersey sales just passed Caitlin Clark's after she goes viral overnight for protecting Caitlin Clark in a game where she got fined $400, which Caitlin Clark apparently is paying for. But yeah, we found our new queen at Indiana.
In that single explosive moment, Cunningham exposed the league's complete failure to fulfill its most basic responsibility. She became the enforcer fans had been begging for, a symbol of vigilante justice on a court where the official rules seemed to have lost all meaning. And the reaction from fans? It was overwhelming and electric, something the WNBA could never have seen coming.
I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
There are players in the FIBA team that are soft. And I'll say this, where it's like, it's very rare in sports that the guard is the enforcer. Everyone's like, oh, Caitlin needs to stand up for herself. And I'm like, 1, she does, but 2, she's a small guard. No small guard likes physicality. No small guard hunts for physicality.
The aftermath of Cunningham's retaliation sparked an online explosion. Before the incident, she had fewer than 400,000 followers on TikTok. Within just 48 hours, that number soared past 1.2 million. Her Instagram following jumped by over 800,000, and her jerseys sold out almost instantly, remaining unavailable for weeks. But this wasn't just about numbers. Fans weren't just supporting her, they were crowning her. They called her the Enforcer, the People's Champion, and Clark's Bodyguard. This wasn't simply a player going viral, it was the birth of a cultural movement.
Caitlin Clark regularly gets picked up in the full court. She also gets blitzed more over the course of her career than any player in WNBA history or in that period of time. And she also creates some contact herself on the offensive end of the floor. She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA, and all of them said it needs to get better. Specifically, the consistency, not only from one game to the next, but the consistency within a game. One coach told me, we tell our players to be as physical as they can possibly be for 40 minutes because we know for 38 of them, they're pretty much going to get away with it. So I think everybody would like to see a tighter whistle and a little...
It revealed the deep desperation of a fan base that had been helplessly watching their favorite player get brutalized week after week. They didn't rally around Cunningham because they admired the foul. They rallied because at last, someone had Clark's back. Her sudden surge in fame wasn't just about support, it was a loud, clear indictment of the WNBA's failure to act.
Never in a million years would I thought I would feel compelled to turn on that WNBA game that's going on at the same time and find myself watching it and yelling, "Drag her ass," as Sophie Cunningham is tackling Sheldon to the floor. Love it, dude. It's so good. It's so good. The WNBA has needed, and the Fever more specifically, but just in general, the WNBA has needed a Sophie Cunningham so badly. And for the record, every single team needs a Sophie Cunningham. Every team that has, their star player, their top guy, gal, whatever, you need someone on the team that when they get messed with, you put that person, whoever messed with them, on their ass. Every time. Every single team in professional sports.
When Sophie Cunningham finally addressed the media, her words sliced through the typical PR fluff. There was no weak apology, no excuse about emotions running high. Instead, she issued a scathing indictment of the entire system. "I think the refs had a lot to do with that," she said, her voice filled with frustration. It was a buildup for a couple years now of them just not protecting the star player of the WNBA. This was the bombshell moment. It wasn't about a rookie, and it wasn't an isolated incident. It was a long brewing failure finally boiling over.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think I'm wrong, but Caitlin Clark is the most marketable American athlete that we've had in forever. Also, Sophie Cunningham is a smoke show.
This was, in her own words, a multi-year failure. Sophie Cunningham's statement validated what every fan and analyst had been witnessing. The issue wasn't isolated, it was systemic. Her claim was quickly reinforced by respected ESPN analyst Rebecca Lobo, who, after extensive research, confirmed that Caitlin Clark is being played and defended differently than any rookie in WNBA history. At that point, it stopped being a debate. It became a documented fact, called out by a player on the inside and confirmed by an expert on the outside.
Man, I like to see it though. I'm not gonna lie, man. I really like to see girls who are hungry, feisty, can play ball, supporting their teammates. It makes it entertaining, man. It make you want to watch WNBA. You're like, hey, they out there brawling. It's back and forth. Caitlin Clark out there hitting threes like it's going out of style. Her teammates got her back. Watching this all come together make you want to watch it a little bit, and see how they play. And I think without Caitlin and them coming to the league, I just think that I don't think it'd be as popular. I think it would have been status quo. But Caitlin Clark is making a ruckus with everybody hating on her, everybody trying to fight her. And then the fact that she plays well.
After all the drama, the viral explosion, and the undeniable confirmation of a systemic problem, the league finally responded with its punishment for Sophie Cunningham's actions. The penalty for the dramatic hair-pulling foul, an incident that dominated sports headlines for days, was a mere $400 fine. Let that sink in. $400. It wasn't a punishment, it was an insult.
So you all know about the fight. You saw it. It's the biggest sports news story of last week. That was the one thing. But then it came out a couple of days later. Sophie Cunningham got fined. I'm just curious. What do you think the fine was? What do you think the fine was? In the NBA, you hear so-and-so fined $5,000. This person fined $10,000. I've even heard $25,000. But here's what Sophie got fined. $400. Oh my God. If that's going to be the fine, rack them up. I'm going to put $2,000 to the side, $2,500 to the side, knowing there's probably a limit. A flagrant 1 is $200. A flagrant 2 is $400 in the WNBA. Rack them up. Probably takes 4 or 5 flagrants to get suspended for a game. I don't know what the rules are. But my point is, if you're going to be messing with Caitlin, I'm going to put $2,000 to the side. Me and Caitlin are going to have a little fine bucket. $2,500. This is for the season. And then I'm going to dare people to.
The WNBA sent a dangerous message. Targeting Caitlin Clark costs just $400. A fine so small, it encouraged more aggression instead of stopping it. This wasn't a real punishment. It was a sign the league isn't serious about protecting its biggest star. Clark brought in record revenue, packed arenas, and saved the league from obscurity, yet she's treated like a liability, not an asset. Fans are fed up. Sophie Cunningham's viral retaliation proved just how desperate they are for someone to stand up for Clark. But one enforcer can't fix a broken system. The trust is shattered, not just Clark's, but the fans too. And now, real conversations are happening about Clark leaving the league, joining an international team, or even starting her own. The league is at a crossroads. Will it be remembered as the league Caitlin Clark saved, or the one that failed her and crumbled because of it?